Good morning, and so here we are, second English lesson of the week. Today is Tuesday the 19th of January. Really hope you got on well with your unicorn creation yesterday and thinking about it as a real character and starting to describe it as if it was. That's what this is all about. So today we will continue to think about your ideas, and we're going to start putting it into some sort of plan so that we really start to think in steps about what it looks like, where it lives, what its powers are, things like that. So we're going to just follow an order through. This is also that we can get ready for doing our information text on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So we're going to do something called a boxing up grid. It's really just our planning sheet. You are familiar with it. I'll show it to you in a moment. Let's take a look then at how we're starting today's session. I think it's a good idea to read back through the River Unicorn text, which is this one here. So this is telling us all about a river unicorn. I feel as though it's talking to us almost like unicorns really exist, which for some people I think perhaps they do, but actually I think we know that unicorns are very magical and mythical, and so it's open to interpretation as to whether they really do or not. However, information texts, they do exist, and usually you would find an information text telling us about something in real life, something that really does exist. So if you think about information texts that you would have read at home or in school, you would be thinking about books on animals, books on the world, books on different countries, and they give you information about things. So that's what we're doing this week, but we are doing something far more exciting because we're doing it about the magical unicorns. Read back through this then and start to think about the structure, because one of the things I've saved onto the website today is this boxing up grid or planning sheet. And the sheet should look quite familiar to you. You've seen things like this before, where in this case we've broken it down into 5 sections. We want 5 different bits of information from you about your unicorn. First of all, you will need to introduce your unicorn and really just say what it is. Go back to the example about the river unicorn to see what they've done. Then we'll use some of our descriptive noun phrases we worked on yesterday in our appearance planning box. Habitat, you could have some fun with this. We haven't really talked about the habitat of our unicorn yet, although I based my unicorn on, I called it sand unicorn, or desert unicorn I called it yesterday, desert unicorn. So for me, my habitat then would be describing the desert. It would be describing warm, open, barren, dry. I'd be using words like this to describe where my unicorn lives. Have a think then, because if you've gone with a jungle unicorn or an ocean or a sea unicorn, obviously your habitat is going to match that. Special feature, so have a think about what magical powers. Yesterday I said that my desert unicorn would be able to change shape, particularly if it got angry, it was able to change shape. That would be its magical power. And then an interesting fact, make something up. So it could be, did you know that desert unicorns only ever existed in Africa and never actually made it to any other continent? Something like that. Make it up, but make it sound real. It could be about how they live. We looked at the word solitary last week in one of our, I think it's somewhere in the River Unicorn text. And you might describe your unicorn as choosing to live a solitary life on its own, shy of any other creature. So have a think about what you could add. It could be anything. So you feel free to go with what you want, some sort of fascinating information. So let's look at this grid in a bit more detail. Here's the grid again, only this time we can see what it looks like completed for the river unicorn. So this is the one that we've just read the text for. In the centre we have our column just saying to you, put your introduction here, put your appearance there, habitat there. And then in the end column, this is what I want you to complete today. So here, this one is labelled up as giving some extra information about a new unicorn called the fire unicorn. And in this case, you can see that details for the introduction might be a quick general description of it. It's rare, it's hot-tempered, it's only ever been seen once before. Then a second paragraph would be describing the appearance. Now, if we use the examples from the river unicorn, first of all, they described using a compound colour the colour of the unicorn's coat. So we can do the same. So for the fire unicorn, we're describing it as a burnt orange coat. For my desert unicorn, I would describe it as golden yellow coat or golden yellow sandy coat, something like that. To describe its mane, I think I described my mane yesterday as long and flowing, and then the horn, described the horn. Mine was a horn that seems to be made out of sand, and maybe describe the size as well. So the river unicorn is small like a pony, the fire unicorn has been described the same, so I'm going to go different and I'm going to say that the desert unicorn is vast. Let's use one of our words of the week from last term or the term before. The desert unicorn is vast, like a mountain range. Something like that. Go on to describe your habitat. You only need to write words or phrases in this planning sheet. You want to be able to fit as much in as possible. When you come to start your writing tomorrow, that's when you will turn your phrases into full sentences and start to make it flow. So for today, it really is capturing your ideas down. So take a look at this example. It's all here. Interesting fact about the river unicorn was that it can disappear in an instant. For the fire unicorn, it can set something alight by pointing its horn at it. I said for my desert unicorn, my interesting fact might be that they've only ever existed on the continent of Africa. So this is what your sheet looks like. You will see that the information relating to the river unicorn is all there. And then you have space to write the name of your unicorn. As I say, stick to the one you described yesterday, that you drew and described yesterday, and then complete each section. Okay, this is something you've done in class many times. You've planned for your writing before. We have built up to this by looking at descriptive phrases and thinking about ways that we can add detail to our writing. Think adjectives, think adverbs, those ly words, think similes, and think expanded noun phrases. Don't put too many nouns in together, and remember to use a comma in between. Right, have fun with it, because again, it's all about being creative, and you're really good at that. So good luck with it. Continue with your sounds right today as well, looking at the words with the sound in them. And I will be back tomorrow to look at tomorrow's lesson. Okay, so this planning grid, the boxing up grid, I had to go at completing one myself. And so if I share that with you just to give you an idea of what you can do. Obviously the one that's on the slides shows the fire unicorn, I think it is. So I said, as I've already said, that my idea is about a desert unicorn. So when I had to go at going through these 5 different sections, introduction, appearance, habitat, special feature and interesting fact, I just wanted to think through the sorts of ideas that you might come up with. So hopefully you can read them up on the screen. I've got them up on my visualizer here, that's my hand showing on the visualizer. So if I read through what I've done for each one of these boxes, that might help you a little bit more with what you're going to be doing today. So for my desert unicorn, I've said that my desert unicorn is bold and brave, bad-tempered but kind, rarely seen. I'm picking up on the information that was given about the river unicorn for the introduction. So these are the details that I will include. For the appearance, I've remembered what we learnt about compound colours. So I've also described mine as golden yellow coat, having a golden yellow coat just as they did with their sandy brown coat. I've described a long flowing mane. I've described the horn that seems to have been built from golden sand. And I've also said that unlike the river unicorn that's as small like a pony, I've said that my desert unicorn is vast like a mountain range. These are all phrases that I will expand upon tomorrow and Thursday when I start writing. For my habitat, I said they live amongst the sand dunes of the desert. They have burrows, or they burrow into the sand, so that means they're well camouflaged. And I've said that they live in the continent of Africa. For special features, my unicorn has the ability to change shape when angry. My unicorn is a superhero who defends the good and fights the bad. My interesting fact, I'm going to say something about they're only found in the deserts of Africa and that they are loyal and that they stay with their families. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful for yours.